Here's a walk around of the GCM RB2X build, and as you can see on this build we used blue anodized parts and had a custom painted body made up for it. We're also using the Proline Masher tires on a revolver 17mm hex wheel from RPM. And I'll show you the inside as well. For shocks, on this truck we're using the Hyper 7 TQ rear buggy shocks. We're also using the RB2 and RB2X top steering post, as well as the servo mounts on the inside. And so this has no traditional E-Savage radio box. And because of that, we're mounting the receiver right on the side plate using a Velcro strip. This chassis also has provisions for 3 different positions of battery tray mounting when using the Kyosho Twin Force battery trays. As you can see from the inside, there's 3 positions right here. The adjustment of your battery weight makes a real surprising difference in handling and should be tried on any truck, just so the driver has a feel for what options are out there as far as handling and cornering and traction control. In the rear, we're using the SS GCM suspension arms that include the Delrin upper link. On this particular truck, we're using a 1 degree camber setting on it that's built into the Delrin upper arms. We're also using the bump steer kit from GCM. We like to use the bump steer kit so that under power, when the truck is pressed down a little bit from weight transfer under power, that the tie rods are straight across. And in doing so, that gives the bump steer effect when the truck is landing. Then under landing forces, that's when the bump steer bracket is going to be used the most, and also under braking. So we like to try to keep the tie rods level in the back under power. This truck is also using the Jedi optional motor mount. As you can see, we're using the E-Savage gearbox with the GCM friction clutch, but there is no motor plate. The motors typically sit right here. And in using the Jedi mount, we're able to get the pinion gear down below the spur, down inside, and that lets us keep the motor weight real far down low, and that helps quite a bit with the handling of the truck. As well, you can see that we have all the motor weight in the rear, a nice spot in the back for the stock E-Savage motor plate to sit down low, bolted down here in the optional holes. And that gives us a nice short wiring. It also gives us a real short wiring for the battery, and it gives us lots of room up front to house the radio gear, and there's no clutter. So it's real easy to keep the truck clean, to keep it maintained. Now, one of the things that we went for on this build was to use the SS shock towers from GCM as well. These units come with some real long hex bolts that mount into the diff cases, and in doing so attach the shock tower right into the cross member on the top of the TVP chassis plates. And we have always been using these genius body mounting ideas that was invented due to the necessity of finding new body posts. So now what we do with our bodies is have one hole, and in that one hole in the body we put one screw, and that secures the body along the top of the shock tower, and it's simple and clean and no more broken body posts. And a comparison, we'll add in an RB3. Now this is an RB3, and as you can see, The RB3 wheelbase is about 1.5 inches shorter than the RB2X. This truck body does not yet have the body mount holes put into it, but it still gives us the idea of where it would sit. So we have the RB2X build on the left, and we have the GCM RB3 build on the right, which is the same size as the RB2 carbon version from PRC, and very similar in size to a GCM brushless edition chassis for E-Savage.